Writer-director Drew Goddard brings us Bad Times at El Royale. Or is it the Good Times at El Royale? The premise of the film is that strangers meet at the El Royale, which is a casino hotel that straddles the border between California and Nevada. And it's based on an actual true place, the Cal Neva. Through the course of one night, they each face struggles, fears, or demons, each searching for redemption. The performances in the movie were just outstanding. They really worked well together as an ensemble cast. Sometimes you don't really get that, you know, that you have a whole bunch of star actors and one is either the shining star or that they don't work totally well together. This one, they all meshed just within their intricacies and their weirdness and their just great acting ability. So it really worked together. We have John Hamm, who is very gentlemanly and proper, but you also get the sense that he's hiding something. Now we have also Jeff Bridges, who is playing a priest, but he seems a little shifty. There's Cynthia Erivo, who is a singer, but she is troubled or fearful for some reason. Dakota Johnson, a girl with a seriously bad attitude and a deep, dark secret. Lewis Pullman, who is the bellboy who knows way more than he's letting on. And finally, Chris Hemsworth, who is a Jim Morrison meets Charles Manson type of just charismatic guy who is pretty creepy in certain ways. The cinematography in El Royale is just outstanding. There is this opening shot that feels exactly like a play. It is just framed and the camera just sits there. And we watch the action happen back and forth, and it's mesmerizing. There's also another scene where the camera angles are focusing between two sides of a screen. And as they do this, the tension is mounting and building, and you don't know what's coming, and you think that it's going to be this climax, and it very well could be, because not only do you have just the music that's building and the song that's being sung and played, but then you also have the camera work itself, and as it focuses on the characters, and it goes back and forth and back and forth, and you just feel this uncomfortableness, and you're like, oh crap, I think something really bad is about to happen. The storytelling is also really, really good. It's done in a way that is told in chapters, but based on the rooms that the people are staying in, and occasionally a character name. And so what you do is you get these glimpses into their life. Sometimes it's a little bit of flashback to give them some character development, but it's also to show what's going on in this scene, and then when you switch to another room, you get to see the same timeline, but from a different perspective. So it's really great how it brings all of these pieces together to just form this well-rounded story. Oh my gosh, the soundtrack is so good. It is just filled with music from the late 60s and early 70s. And even at some points, the director has chosen songs that are in direct emotional conflict with what you're seeing on screen. And so what it does is it truly just plays with your head and your heart, because you're feeling one way from the music and you're seeing something else that is just not right together. And so sometimes the music is up and the thing that you're seeing is bad, or sometimes the thing that you're seeing is good and the music is just kind of melancholy, and so it really messes with you at certain points. Other times though, it is just great to listen to it and to hear the music, and it's so well done. And it almost reminds me a little bit of like a Cameron Crowe movie, where he's chosen a soundtrack and now he's just going to build the movie around that. It's not how it is, but you get the sense that the soundtrack was really well thought out. El Royale does remind me of several movies, and it's not overt, but I just get this feeling like it was influencing. Like a lot of it feels like some of Pulp Fiction, Identity, even Vacancy, and then you also have Cabin in the Woods, which was written and directed by Drew Goddard, who wrote and directed El Royale. Now, if you've seen Cabin in the Woods, it's not like that, but there was just something about it that made me think of that film. So I don't know if it's maybe one certain aspect of this film that reminds me of that, or if there's just a feel to it, or maybe the way that he frames his shots. I don't know exactly what it is, but I just remember as I'm watching it go, oh yeah, that reminds me of this also. It also had a very Hitchcockian and Shakespearean feel. Well, that's a whole lot going on right there, right? Well, when you see it, it does make sense. That the setting up of the story and the way that the shots are framed, and that the The way the story is told reminds me a lot of Hitchcock, and just then the story content and the way that everything finally resolves itself reminds me a lot of Shakespeare. The pacing was really good. Despite it being 2.5 hours long, it didn't feel like that at all. Goddard really used a good mix of humor and drama and really balanced it well. And I loved the characters and their backstory. And I love the fact that we got some of the backstory and enough of it to be invested in them, but not too much where I felt that the whole movie is dragging on or I'm seeing so much of this one character that everybody else has been forgotten. There's no sex, there is brief nudity, there's a lot of profanity, and a ton of graphic violence. Now overall, I had a blast watching this. I really enjoyed it, even though it's not something that I would just watch on repeat all the time. But I will watch it again to just see what else I missed and to pick up on different nuances. If you enjoy ensemble movies with great characters and some grit, you're probably gonna enjoy Bad Times at the El Royale. I give it 4 out of 5 couches. What is your favorite movie with a great ensemble cast? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.